Hello guys, this is the Kaijudo channel here with my very first constructed deck using the battle decks cards only, and I've tested this quite a bit already. I've tested it in about 5 matches or so, and it has been just winning and winning and winning. I think it has lost maybe 1 or 2 games out of the 5 matches, and it's really good. I just really like it, and I'm very happy with how well it's done so far, so I'm definitely going to have to do a deck profile on it right now. So I like to call it Water Dart Control with a splash of nature, and you'll see why in a second. But I'm going to go over the creatures on the left, and then I'm going to go over the spells on the right. It's a 20-20 split exactly, 40 cards with 20 creatures and 20 spells. So let's go to the creatures first. First of all, we've got 3 Reef Eye and 3 Skeeter Swarmers. These are pretty much the turn 2 blockers of the deck, and they are my only blockers of the deck. It's just very nice that they are the cheapest one, so that it's, very simple to, get some blockers on the field whenever you need them. And I think this is the perfect amount, and they're the cheapest ones, so I think they're easily the best ones to use for this deck. Now we got the turn 3 plays right here, Aqua Seneschal and Skullcutter. Seneschal is just great. You keep on swinging with it, and you keep on drawing cards and add to your hand so that you don't run out of cards. And Skullcutter is just very nice to keep on the field, and then your opponent has to keep on thinking about what he should do, or else Skullcutter might get rid of one of their important creatures. So it's very nice to have a very useful Slayer that could actually, keep your opponent at bay and kind of think about his attacks before, going in for shields. Now, I'm only running 2 Fumes. I think 3 Fumes is a bit too much. And most of the time, your opponent only, either they have no cards in hand, 1 or 2 or so, or they have, a lot of cards in hand. And when they have a lot of cards in hand, you draw this. It's just terrible. But in the few situations where you're going against a deck that doesn't have draw, or just doesn't have much cards in hand most of the time, 2 Fumes just works very well. I usually draw at least 1 per game, and it works out very well. Or else it just goes in mana, but that's why I only run 2. Now for the finishers, or big creatures in the deck, 3 Zagaans. I mean, they're the best ones in the battle deck. Has the most power for the cheapest cost, and it just simply breaks shields and forces your opponent to pit this or whatever they have to destroy this. And then I have 1 of each Civ right here. So right here, if you can see it, that is Razorkinder. I'm only using 1 just for the fact that there's not always a chance that untapped creature will be on your opponent's side of the field. And also because I run a lot of level 7 cards, and having more than 1 would just ruin the curve a little bit. So that's just nice to have 1. King Nautilus, I'm running 1, and I'll tell you why. This card, when you get it out and they have no answer, it's just a draw engine machine thing. It's a king of drawing cards when you get it out. So I'm only using 1 because in a 40 card deck, if you run more than 1, you're just going to thin out your deck if you end up getting too many of these. And also, once again, like I explained, I have too many level 7 cards. I mean, the 2 key turns, or the 2 key levels of this game right now are 4 and 7. So I don't want to overload too much on 7 or 4. And lastly, we have Roaming Bloodmane. So here's where I have the Nature Splash. Roaming Bloodmane is just really cool because it's unblockable. And so if you have no answers to the blockers, you just play this guy and swing at shields easily. So now for the spells, we're going to go straight to the nature section. I'm running 3 of each, Return to the Soil, and 3 Root Trap. Root Trap, I mean, for the finishers, you want to save Root Traps and Terror Pits for those big creatures. So running, the maximum amount of each card, make sure that you always have an answer for those really annoying cards like Zagaan, Bloodmane, Tatsurion, Razorkinder, maybe even King Nautilus if they're running it. So that's just very nice to have. And Return to Soil is just really, really nice. I mean, I know you're sending it to mana, these 2 cards, but it gets rid of some really annoying cards. Like, there's tons of great level 4 lower cards, and the more the better, in my opinion. Now for the water spells, 3 Spy Mission. Draw is really awesome. Now, if you didn't notice, I'm not running Hydro Spy, and that's because, once again, I don't want to overload on level 4s. And because I feel that Seneschal and Spy Mission are way better at drawing cards than Hydro Spy is, because Seneschal has a chance of you drawing more than 1 card, and it's a level 3, which there is very few level 3 cards that are great for this deck. So I opted for, the Spy Missions and the Seneschals instead of, using all of them. And then I'm also using King Nautilus. So I have tons of draw without Hydro Spy, and Hydro Spy is just weak, and there's just way better level 4 plays in my opinion. Now I'm running 3 Ice Blades. This is quite questionable, and I'm also running 2 Teleports as well. These are the bounce cards of the deck, and Teleport also draws you cards. I think it's just really nice for tempo reasons. I mean, you play these just to, mess with your opponent and get rid of annoying cards just for the turn, and then they have to play it again or forced to use a new strategy. It's just really nice to have a very cheap way to get rid of creatures on the field just by using Ice Blade, and it's also a Shield Blast. Teleport's not a Shield Blast, that's why I'm only running 2, and also for the fact that they're the only level 5 card in this deck, so I need to have at least one turn 5 play if I ever really wanted to, so Teleport's there. But since I have loads of level 2s and level 3s, I mean, my turn 5 is usually play a blocker and then summon Seneschal, or play a Seneschal, use Ice Blade, something like that. That's the whole point of turn 5, but I have those just in case because, it's pretty much another out to the big finishers out there. And then the Darkness Spells, just running 3 Terror Pits and 3 Bone Blades because they destroy things, and these are easily the best destruction spells in the game right now because they just go straight to the graveyard and they have no way of recuperating those cards in the graveyard. So for now, these are easily the best. And that's it for the deck. Now, Shield Blasts, I think I have a total of 18. That's why it's really cool. So pretty much half my deck are Shield Blast cards except for the Teleports. So all my spells give me a way better chance of getting something in shields. Something that's really great about this game. All the cards are very slow right now. There's not really a speedy kind of way to play this game, and that's why making a nice slow controlled deck like this is easily the best way to go. Because I think swinging for shields is a lot more important in this game, because if you wait too long, they'll get their big creatures out and they'll just go crazy on you, and that's why I have tons of cheap creatures to, protect myself and also, put pressure on them. So that's why every time I play Seneschal, no matter what they have, unless they have a blocker or whatever, I'm going to swing with this. But that's why I have cheap options to remove blockers, via Ice Blade or Return to the Soil or Bone Blades, and it just really, really works out well for me. By swinging shields constantly, it just puts so much pressure on them, and they always have to think of ways to stop it, and with, all this pressure and removal, it just really, really sets them back, and it also gives you more of a chance to have Shield Blast in your shields. And having 18, I mean, it's an average of about 2 or 3 in your shields, and you could have up to 5 if you're even, luckier. I've always liked having loads of Shield Blast cards, and this is just one of the best ways to make use of it, because the Fire Shield Blasts, I mean, they're not amazing. I mean, Comet Missile's kind of nice, you get rid of blockers, but I prefer Ice Blade because it's not just blockers, it's level 4s. And also, what else do they have? Rock Bite and Tornado Flame. I personally think Rock Bite is pretty terrible in comparison to this and this. I mean, these get rid of any level 4, and Rock Bite's just 3,000 or less, and there's not that much cards. But for pretty much every card that's not level 4 or lower, you just use your Root Traps, your Pits, and your 2 Teleports. So you pretty much have an answer for everything here, and that's why I really, really love this deck. There's nothing much else to say, but one thing's for sure, I'm definitely going to use this deck for quite a long time until, the Dojo comes out, because I just think this is such a consistent deck with all the Shield Blasts and all the pressure, and yeah. Oh, King Nautilus. I love this card too. It really puts in work despite what people may think. It is an expensive card, but oh my goodness, it just keeps on drawing you cards and cards if nothing happens. So, very, very great deck. I'm definitely going to post some video duels of this deck later on. I did loads of testing with Evan Banjo, who will probably have a new YouTube account, but I really don't know what it's going to be yet. But I'll let you guys know when he gets his new channel, and I will let you guys know, and yeah. So I'm going to post video duels with him, with me using this deck for pretty much all of them, because I really wanted to test this deck out, and it worked so well. I'm very happy about this deck. So this is the Kaijudo channel signing off with this Water Darkness Control with a splash of nature. Alright guys, see ya.